I can actually swap out in real time as long as I just go ahead and enter the thing, exactly what the link is. So yeah, I've been doing that and trying to do things.
I just realized one of my classes this week got cut off because of the internet. Like, I remember Chuck came over here and said like there was something wrong with the feed, but he thought he could put it back on. But like that class got chopped off. I think at least like 15.
Okay, that, you know, like to be honest, like I noticed one of the classes like a little bit short.
Yeah, the 37-minute one, it just like turns off, and there's definitely more material.
Oh well.
Yeah, it happens. It's just technical difficulties. Maybe I'll start just bringing my other little camera just to make sure I have like a hard copy of all that stuff.
Good morning. Give me a second. I gotta post up some links. Here, I swear, Trevor's here. You're here. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning.
Wednesday?
It's Friday morning. It's May 1st. Not that much.
That was great.
Been at this, what, 6 weeks like this? I've lost...
I think it's the 4th week now.
Since the 13th, so like, it was when we initially went to shelter in place.
But I mean,
of online classes, about 4 weeks.
That's how I'm tracking my life right now.
Dude, I'm totally like, majorly lost track of space and time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to get out of this.
I'm looking forward to it though.
Oh God. I'm just posting up one more link to our Facebook page, let everybody know this gets in. This is Introduction to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Chapter 2. Go, all systems go here. We're logging on. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Oh. Okay. Zoom, I'm just gonna make sure. Oh. All right. Hey, surprise, surprise, I'm not wearing my gi today. I think this is the first time since I've been doing these classes. I have my shorts. I have what's known as a rash guard on, okay? And I'm doing this to prove a point. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu isn't necessarily just gi or no gi. It's grappling. It's what you happen to wear. I have a gi. I've been happy to wear this whole time. You might not have that. But everything I need to do on these introduction to Jiu-Jitsu classes, at least for the first portions of these first classes, it's not going to matter whether you have a gi on or not, okay? Rash guard's optional. Rash guard's kind of a stretchy lycra type material. I guess this is lycra. I don't know. Here, I gotta look at the tag on this. Particularly, they wick away sweat. They're a little bit more durable. If you're doing this in a t-shirt, we're not going to get too strenuous today, but it will be pretty gross and possibly ruined after a session. So that's where we're going to rash guards here. But I'm not dependent on clothing. So everything that we're going to do today, you can go gi, no gi. If you have the gi on, leave it on by all means. If you don't feel left out, okay? I'm stalling a little bit, stretching right now. I want to talk a little bit more about safety on this right now. Now that you're doing this, now that you're participating with this, oops, forgot to turn on the light. I'm going to go ahead and keep talking. But now that you're jumping into these classes, you know, I never use the word safe. That's a lie. I use it all the time. But what I really mean is safer, degrees of being safe, okay? Safety is always relative to your position, okay? That's one way of thinking about it. The better your position is, the more chances you have of being safe. Although I would consider the guard, the position that we're working on, we were done yesterday from class number 1, or we're going to be working on class number 2 today, to be a relatively neutral position, okay? So that's one way of thinking about it. But I'm also saying that safety is always your responsibility. Now more than ever, I obviously can't come through this camera, go into your living room or your gym or wherever you're at right now and make sure you're 100% safe. Even if you were in front of me, you can never be 100% safe. I can do what I can. Your safety is always your responsibility, okay? You gotta be thinking in safety terms. Two aspects of that. Number one, in the immediate action and reaction and any potential for injury, you fall in the wrong way, you take a bad landing, let something go too wrong. That's a quick injury right there. That might take you out for some measure of time. Another level of injury on this is the long-term injury. Don't know how to train properly, train in proper ways, push yourself past where you should want to go, or you need to go, or you could be going, or without building up to it. Improper training could lead to imbalances, injuries down the road, okay? We want to make sure that we cover both of those from the safety aspect, okay? Again, the disclaimer is this is an at-risk activity, okay? By participating, by doing this, whatever, there's always a chance that something can go wrong, but I want you to have that awareness for yourself. Now, having said that, okay, and gone through that speech, I want to talk about break balls a little bit, okay? A real specific spot we're going to be break balls because it's actually going to come in a little bit handy today, okay? Number one, break balls falling down, okay? There's two big principles on this. Number one, protect the head, okay? Above all else, you want to protect your brain. You don't want to take concussive damage to it. Your studies, you can figure that one out yourself. I will do anything I can to protect my head, and my neck and my spine is an extension right there, kind of going through that whole thing. But I'm very protective of that, okay? Again, take a bad knock to the head. I don't think I have to tell you what goes on with that. That's number one. Number two, maybe a little less counterintuitive if you didn't know this, okay, is when I take a fall, okay, I want to make sure from whatever distance, I want to absorb the impact. I want to spread that out as much as possible. If I was to fall and post out, for example, and concentrate all that force to one small area, all that force goes to that one small area, it's magnified, there's a greater chance of getting injured in that sense. I would rather spread out that force, spread out that injury potential right there, or rather spread out that force so every part of me gets a little bit less force on this, okay? Hence, break ball. We're gonna do a real basic break ball right now to start off with, okay? We're gonna start this way. I'm gonna be not necessarily flat on my back, okay? I'm kind of engaging my core, at least I'm tucking my chin into my chest. I'll bring my legs down like so you can see that. I'm gonna tuck my chin into my chest and my head is off the ground right now. Because again, rule number one, always want to protect the head, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and bring my feet up. Maybe I'll do an angle so you can see this. I'm just kind of planted over right now. I'm gonna go ahead and have my hands up, okay? And when I go ahead, I got a break ball. I'm gonna slap the ground right now, okay? Maybe you have a mat, maybe you have the ground. Maybe you go hard, and I'm on a mat, I'm gonna make a big noise, maybe you don't. But when I make this landing right now, you notice I'm landing with palms down, hands towards my feet, and I'm landing with my whole arm. Okay, that big noise is dramatic, partially because of the matting right there, but the big noise is dramatic right now because I want a bigger noise because it's going to dissipate the energy. It's actually better than the soft, dull thud or a sharper noise on this. Okay, so again, just chin into your chest, hands open like this, and you're just going to go ahead, get your comfort level where you're at right now. And again, I'm not just slamming with my palms, my whole arm is coming down, hitting the tray. Just a few times, chin to chest. Easy. We're just going ahead, just getting used to that. Again, can't see it from this angle. My hands always come down this way. Chin tucked into my chest, my hands coming down this way. I'll hit this way. Never want your hands flaring back or like, you know, like the uppercase or like that, because you'll be more likely to get an injury. Okay? Basketball players, watch the NBA when they fall. They do it a lot. They'll do the same thing. They'll land chin tucked to chest and land flat on their backs. Sometimes they break balls, sometimes they don't. We're practicing this motion right here. A few more times. Go ahead and make that big noise. Your upstairs have downstairs shoulders. Use a little bit longer, no big deal. All right, good. Now another variation of this right now is practicing the break ball side to side. Okay, and I haven't done this one on video before. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start off right now. Okay, on our back. And I'm going to go ahead and roll to a side. And as I roll to my side, I'm going to go ahead and hit the mat with one arm to the side I'm going over. And with my opposite arm right here, because I don't want to slam with both hands right here, I'm going to actually go ahead in this case, bring my hand to my stomach right here, like so. And not hit my stomach right here, replace it at the same time. Okay? I like my legs to be open as I do this, kind of knees apart so I don't
simulate breaking my legs. Now I'll go ahead and roll to the opposite side right now fairly easily and practice hitting to the other side. Okay, we'll go ahead and practice and just simply go side to side like so, practicing break falls. Okay, and again, when I land, it's my whole arm that lands right now, not just one portion right there. I'm not landing on just my palm. I am landing with my whole arm. Okay, trying to disperse that force as much as possible. So it's less likely I get injured. As much as I'm hitting the ground's hitting me back, or vice versa, one of the two. Okay, but I'm trying to disperse that energy as much as possible. Again, that's going to be a little bit important down the road right now. Go ahead and practice that a little bit. Sit here and watch, and I'll let you get ready for that. Okay, and as we sit there and watch, or maybe you're just sitting there and watching right now, I'm back to a good posture right now. I have my shoulders over my hips. Okay, another one of the golden rules, another one of the things I want you to think about. I'm going to repeat this till it's born into your head. Core strength first, then legs, then arms. Core strength first, then legs, then arms. Every position, every technique, everything I do, I'll run through that filter. Core strength first, then legs, then arms. Although everything will be coordinated together. I actually do everything at once, but if you're stuck, go in that order. Strongest, not as quite as strong, not weak, but the weaker link of the chain right there. Okay, so good posture, shoulders over hips, hips directly over my heels. I like the tops of my feet into the ground. And I'm going ahead, sitting here holding with my core strength right now. Okay, holding with my core strength right now. And we're in our good posture, weights rooted into the ground, moving here from my core and my hips, and our so-called safety position. Okay, if I had somebody in my guard, or if I was in somebody's guard in this regard right here. And let's go ahead and get to that right there. So Trevor, who's here, has been in the background, he's been stretching out and hanging out this whole time. And if you remember, this is technically a low closed guard. Why is it low? Because Trevor's down towards my hips. Why is it closed? Because his ankles are wrapped around me. He's locked his ankles up. Okay? And again, Trevor's holding about my midsection, or above my hips, I should say my belly, the softer area right there. He clamps his thighs together here. He kind of pushes his thighs down on top of my pelvic bones, on top of my hips. He crosses his ankles and pushes his ankles down to the ground. Okay, it's a bit of core strength just to hold this position right now. Okay, so we're both using our core at this point. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and do our cooperative drill. We'll actually count this out together. We're going to go ahead and just kind of tune each other up, figure out where exactly how much resistance, or what's the good resistance to give with our partner, even when we're being cooperative. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we'll work out this together. We're going to break each other down 20 times. Go ahead and follow along with us. You got a partner 20 times, and I want to give Trevor enough of a workout right now, enough resistance, so he feels it, so he has to work on his technique, so he has to work on his motion, but I want to give him enough room because we got to get through 20 of these. And as always, I'm talking right now, so I lost count. Who am I kidding? If I was counting, I would lose 10, 11, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and my turn. Your turn, switch top and bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, good. Tuned up now to be able to work cooperatively with each other. Now we'll go ahead and do a quick drill. We'll do that competitively with each other right now. Okay, so again, picking up right where we left off yesterday, the job of the person on top is twofold. Number one, you want to control your own posture. Okay, why is that posture control important? Well, it goes back to safety, position, finish. The person on top, if you can maintain and control your posture, will be rewarded in 3 ways. You'll be safer against attacks. You'll be safer against them passing the guard. That's position. Weight.
if you're on top, you'll be in a better position to pass guard. That's still position. And you'll be in a better position to attack yourself, even though like in a sport jiu-jitsu context, which is what we're doing right now, everybody's friends, not a whole lot of attacking going. On the bottom perspective, on the other hand, if you control the posture of the person on top, you'll still reward in 3 ways. You'll be safer against attacks that aren't coming because we're being friendly about this. You'll be in a better position to defend against your guard being passed. That's still position. And you'll be in a better position to attack yourself. Safety, position, finish. Okay, in this case, I busted out my phone. I'm going to go ahead and have that timer up for 30 seconds. Start with your partner in that closed guard. Set, go. I'll go ahead and keep talking right now. Whatever you got to do, core, then legs, use your arms. If you paid attention yesterday, I gave you a couple of tips on how to break it down, going ahead and holding on to that wrist halfway through. And heck, if you manage to break down that posture, let them back up. If the person on top is not only maintaining their posture, I forgot to mention, you can go ahead and open up the guard if you can. Okay, open up the guard if you can. So 2 rules, control the posture and try to keep the guard closed or open. That's 30 seconds right there. See, there you go. Let's go ahead and go top to bottom, same players, same position, same game, except you're switching positions. Okay, quick 30-second drill. Set, go. Paying attention to you though, you're paying attention to each other right now. Again, this is fundamental stuff right there. You can't control the posture of the person on top, or if you can't control your own posture, the guard's not going to move any further on this. If you can't control yourself, how are you hoping to control anybody else? Okay, internal, external. 10 seconds to go. Keep battling. A few more seconds. 3, 2, bang. There you go. Nice job. You don't necessarily, of course, need me to call off this timer and play it around. The idea on this drill right now is after you turn off the camera, after the Zoom session's over, or if you rewind it right now, this is the basis of how to work with each other. Okay, this is the start of how to work with each other. It's understanding and be able to control that posture. Okay, both from a core strength and building up a body type development on this, and a technical ability. Simply control that posture, keep the legs closed, control your own posture, open up those legs. But it's posture, 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 okay? Which is a bit of an oversimplification. I get it, okay? But I like to start simple and then build on top of that so you get a pretty good understanding of this. Now, know this, posture works in different ways, okay? Posture works in different ways. Now, essentially when I say posture, the way we break this down, okay, when I've done this, is when I'm starting to try to control Trevor's posture, okay, he's sitting here, he has good posture, shoulders over his hips, he's rooted to the ground. We've basically been dealing with how to pull somebody forward. Oh, camera. Here. Yeah. We've just been dealing with controlling the posture in this way. Okay, that's a very much an oversimplification because the truth of the matter is posture is any misalignment of the shoulders and the hips. Okay, any misalignment of the shoulders and the hips, you can have your shoulders going in different directions or different ways right there from your hips. Any deviation of the shoulders over the hips will be a posture deviation right there, and there might be potentially an attack, okay? Or attack or something that I can do on this. I say this because maybe some of you are smart enough to figure out, okay, in terms of the person on top right now, that if I'm going ahead and I'm trying to break down posture and pull them down this way, okay, Trevor can simply just lean back with all of his might, lean back and be really silly about this right there, and it makes it that much more difficult for you to bring him down. True, okay? It is gonna make it difficult for me to break down and bring him down to that situation right there. However, it is gonna make him vulnerable to what goes backwards right there, okay? Now, Trevor's advanced enough that he wouldn't lean back that way. Why wouldn't he lean back that way? Go ahead, he does this right there. Because it'd be very simple for me to go ahead, switch my direction, and then take him over on what's known as a simple sweep, as a sit-up sweep, or sometimes known as a bump sweep. It's a little bit of a break ball right there, okay? So that's the technique we're gonna be working on today, our bump sweeps. Now, again, however my opponent resists, or however they decide to counter, there's always an equal counter, okay? That's a good rule of thumb. That's something good to think about as you're training jiu-jitsu. A more specific way, let me show you something.
okay? I want to break Trevor's posture down. My initial reaction is try to go ahead and pull him down in this direction. Why? I've said it a bunch of times before. I'll say it again. I will be safer against his attack, safer against him passing my guard best position, and in a better position to attack myself. Okay? On the other hand, Trevor wants to go ahead and maintain that posture. He wants this good posture. And we've already said, good posture is alignment of shoulders and hips and how well he's rooted to the ground. Okay? He doesn't want a posture deviation because it will make him more vulnerable to various attacks. However, this is a physics lessons for you. If I apply force, if I go ahead and start pulling him in a direction, let's say I start pulling Trevor towards me, okay? If Trevor wants to remain in good posture, if he wants to remain upright, if he wants to keep himself safer, he has to apply a force in an equal and opposite direction to my force in order just to stay upright, okay? So in other words, if I started pulling Trevor towards me with, let's make up a number, 100 pounds of force, Trevor has to put 100 pounds of force in this opposite direction. He has to have a counteraction force or else he's going to come forward on me, okay? That's physics right there. If he didn't have that force or he didn't have that structure behind him, okay, if he couldn't withstand that, he's going to come down and it's going to be to my advantage. He has to apply force in the opposite direction, okay? It's simple physics right there, okay? Now, there's always two ways to solve a problem in jiu-jitsu. There's always multiple ways to solve a problem in jiu-jitsu. Let's go like two brute reasons right now. Number one, I can go ahead and try to overpower Trevor, okay? So let's say I apply 100 pounds of force in this direction and Trevor applies 100 pounds of force in the opposite direction. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go 200 pounds of force and try to break him down. And I'll get him that way. And I won that way.
Sometimes power and strength is the correct answer, okay? If I feel that I'm stronger than Trevor, if I think he's extended and weak and I go ahead and want to apply some more force to pull him down, that is 100% a correct answer right there. I can absolutely apply more force to that if needed, okay? Never let anybody tell you that strength and size don't make a difference in jiu-jitsu, because 100% they do, okay? Anything else I would tell you about that is simply marketing speed, okay? I can absolutely decide to overpower my opponent at that point, okay? And that is a perfectly legitimate technique, okay? And you'll find that out really quickly. However, jiu-jitsu is not always about the largest person. If it was all about strength and size, then the largest person would be the best person in the world of jiu-jitsu. As they always used to say, if size mattered, the elephant would be king of the jungle, although I'm pretty sure elephants would mess up lions, but that's a different subject right there. Okay. I don't always like to have that force-to-force battle or force against force battle right there if I know my opponent is stronger than me, okay? So if Trevor happens to be stronger than I am, or if he's not at the limitations of his strength, we want to go into this battle right here. So I close up and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use 100 pounds of force. And Trevor uses 100 pounds of force. So I go 200 pounds of force, and Trevor goes 200 pounds of force. So I'll go 400 pounds of force, and Trevor goes 400 pounds of force in that opposite direction. That's only gonna favor the person that happens to be the stronger person in this. And if I'm not the stronger person in this encounter, it would make zero sense for me to go ahead and try to match force against force, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and try this in a different way. We're gonna go force with force in this case. What do I mean by that? Well, let's go ahead. I'm going to start off. I'm going to initiate this right there. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull Trevor down. I've got 100 pounds of force in this direction, and Trevor puts that 100 pounds of force in that opposite direction. And I know I can't match him strength for strength. So I'm going to go ahead and switch directions. I'm going to use his own momentum against him. I'm going to use this kind of slow motion version where I'm going to open up my guard, plant my feet on the ground, and catapult myself up, okay? As Trevor's force is going in that way, I'm going to go ahead and plant my feet on the ground. My hips hit Trevor's hips. My chest hits his chest. My shoulder goes over shoulder. I'm pointing that way to tell you where the direction of the force is, but I don't actually do that. What I'll do is go ahead, hold on to his arm. I'll trap up here, and I'll go ahead and drive up and over. And this turns into that bump sweep or that simple sweep right there. And again, you notice Trevor went ahead and broke his fall by slamming the mat as we did earlier at this lesson. Okay. Again, that's not force against force going right here. Okay. Which I might not win. That's force going with force at this point. Okay. As long as your opponent and yourself want to force yourselves in the same direction, or as long as you put force in the same direction, barring some kind of obstacle, you will go in that direction. That's a huge principle about jiu-jitsu, is that ability to go ahead and try to work with your opponent's energy. Okay, Ju, meaning the soft art right there, J-I-U. Okay, soft art or soft hand, depending on how you want to translate that. I can't remember which one it is. Okay, but we're working with their energy, with their force, with the direction they're going to. Okay, so that is a bump sweep right there. Okay, now details on the bump sweep that I think are very important. I want to show you on this angle right here. Okay. The number one detail about this bump sweep right here, okay, is I like to force me going backwards on this, okay? I will make a good old honest try to break Trevor's posture down. And in theory, the more he resists me, the more force he goes ahead and he has to put in that direction, the easier this bump sweep's gonna be, okay? Another really big principle I'll tell you right now, I don't really feint or jab in jiu-jitsu in the same way that you would do in someone's striking. I don't try to fake people out. I don't halfway my moves. If I try to break Trevor's posture down, I'm really trying to break Trevor's posture down, okay? I really want to go ahead and pull him in, because then I'll go ahead, I'm safer against his attack, safer against him passing the guard. I'm in a better position to attack myself, okay? I want to pull him down for the sake of pulling him down. I really would like that. But also, I need him, even if he defends really well, I need him to have a reaction, but I don't halfway anything that I do. That's a really important concept in jiu-jitsu. If I try it, I meant to do it. And I really did mean to bring him down. That's number one. Number two is I'm gonna go ahead, open up my guard, I'm gonna plant both of my feet on the ground, heel my foot on the ground, ball my foot on the ground. Okay? And as I do this, a lot of times to give myself momentum, it's called a kipping action. So I'll use this kind of opening up my guard, and I'll bring my feet down, and I'll use that to sit up at the same time. Okay, that little momentum trick right there will help you out as you're building up your core strength and have the ability to come explosively up right there. Whereas I'm not coming up piecemeal, I'm not, and then sitting up, although I do have the core strength to do this, okay, and it's a good drill to do. For lack of better words, I'm going to cheat. What I call kipping cheating. Don't tell the CrossFitters that. But I'm doing it by any means necessary to get up and over right there. So when I do this, when I open up my guard, boom, you're gonna see my feet are gonna hit the ground. I'm gonna use that to help sit myself up right there. This is gonna give me some momentum. And the other detail I want you to know is that both feet are planted on the ground. Heel of my foot on the ground, ball of my foot on the ground. I'm solidly on the ground when I do this, okay? This is important because this is gonna be my drive. And when I have to go through, I'll be able to drive off of both feet, okay? If you come up or if you have the habit of landing on the side of your foot this way and you try to drive off of this, you are going to roll your ankle and that is going to suck, okay? Much less is it going to suck if you roll your ankle driving your own weight this way. Remember, you're taking a body over in that direction a lot of times, okay? Rolled ankle, body coming on top of that, to me, that's a recipe to get injured, okay? And again, your safety is your responsibility. Right now, as you're watching this, your safety is to some degree my responsibility. So I have to point out that I come up on my feet like so, and not on the side. Hey, if you want an analogy without a partner, if you're watching the solo right now as I make this motion, I'll actually come up this way, and I'm using this to come up to my, as if I was coming up to my feet. It's a very similar motion, that kind of kipping going through. Some people are more athletic and can jump in and get right to their feet right there. But you'll notice I'm directing my energy, I'm driving through, I'm doing that kipping action. And of course, I have to land solidly on my feet to do this, because if I try to kip up and land on the side of my feet right here, I will literally break my ankles at this point. This would be a horrible idea. So I'm coming up, feet plant on the ground to this kind of, if not crouching, at least to this stand-up position. Try that out a few times. If you can do this, if you can come up this way, you can figure out how to do this and come up to your feet, or even stand up, or even, as we're going to do, drive through, you can do a bump sweep. If you can't do that motion, if your either core strength is a little bit weak or your technical ability, well, isn't quite there, we can build up a better sit-up sweep or bump sweep through that motion. Ooh. Okay. But of course, as we build up and as you understand that motion, now it's actually applying it to somebody in a jiu-jitsu sense, or in a partner sense, either a cooperative sense or a competitive sense on this. Okay, so again, starting from here, I have a good guard at the belly, down on the hips, crossing my ankles, pulling it in. And I really, really wanted to break Trevor down. Here, look at this. And he really, really, really is applying force in that direction, not allowing that to happen. Fine, okay? Again, slow motion version for right now. My guard opens up. I have this tendency to bring my feet up first. Yeah, it might take a little bit longer to do that, but it gives me a little bit more momentum for this kipping action. The more my feet travel, the better kipping action I get. And watching one motion right here, boom, I'm planting on my feet. I'll turn to my side, I'm reaching over the collarbone, over the shoulder already. And depending on how fast I come up, I'll have this turn. I'm gonna go ahead and plant on either my hand or my elbow. Okay, so I can go ahead and just practice this motion right here. I can actually do this on both sides. If I can do this, I should be able to execute the sit-up sweep eventually. It's a good core exercise too. A lot of what we're going to do in jiu-jitsu is going to involve core in some way. Anything athletically you'll ever do is going to involve core in some way. Okay, so you can go ahead and practice that motion a few times. Again, you can do the first motion that we did solo. If you can do this with a partner, you're well on your way to that sit-up sweep. Okay, so far so good. All right, let's go ahead and actually try to execute this as a scissor sweep or that sit-up. All right, it's in scissor sweep. Bump sweep or call it bump sweep right here. So again, I'm gonna get Trevor to break down. I'm gonna try to pull him down. And this is also where Trevor's knowledge and resistance comes out. If he's just kind of flopping over on me, if he comes down in this direction, if he isn't kind of aware, if he isn't being a good training partner, then I will lose it there, okay? Like I have no possibility of being able to sit up sweep at this point. So I'm really dependent on Trevor being a good training partner, somebody that I can work with on this, okay? And again, I need to break it down, but Trevor knows the technique we're going through right now. He's giving me that resistance, okay? So again, I'll open up my guard, sit up, my feet hit the ground. And now with my feet on the ground, that's gonna allow my hips to hit Trevor's hips. My chest hits his chest. My shoulder goes over the shoulder, okay? And then we'll go ahead, trap the arm because I'm not really going in the direction I'm pointing, and go up. Trevor will go ahead and make that break fall as he does it. See how he slammed the mat on this side right here? Because he does not want to absorb that impact. For us, it's a low impact move right there. We're close to the ground. We got all kinds of paddings and mats and stuff like that. You still want to have some good habits about that. You still don't want to land on the mat hard in that sense. Okay? So from this angle right here, we'll do a couple of different angles. We'll let you go ahead and follow along. Tell you about this. Try breaking down, try breaking down, try breaking down. Doesn't want to go down. I can do it faster than I can say it, but you can say it along with me. Feet hit the ground, hips to hips, chest to chest, shoulder over shoulder, up and over. Again, feet on the ground, hips to hips, chest to chest, shoulder over shoulder, up and over. Why do I have to have feet on the ground right there? Again, I don't want to cross and break my ankles at this point, but also look, if my feet are on the ground, something has to be on the ground. I'm a ground fighter. I like fighting the ground. I know how to use the ground. Something's got to be connected to the ground, okay? It is physically impossible for me not to have something connected to the ground in this position, at least for any length of time, right? Okay, so if my feet aren't on the ground, my butt stays on the ground. If my butt stays on the ground, my hips are never going to hit Trevor's hips. I'm never going to execute that sweep. So again, slow it down. Try to break the posture down first. I never halfway anything. I never faint. I always need to do this, but Trevor's a good partner. Trevor knows what you do. He's strong. Okay, open up your guard. Feet on the ground. Hips to hips, chest to chest, shoulder over shoulder. Trap that arm up and over. Yeah, notice how Trevor breaks falls right there. Okay, maybe we can do one in real speed here. Maybe I'll do one on the opposite side, which I haven't done yet. Try to break that posture down. Here we go. Trevor's resisting. Oh, weird. I say I've been doing this for a long time. I can definitely do things on both sides, but I definitely have favorite sides right now. That was actually not a bad exercise for me in that case. Okay, But again, as you're doing this, as you're playing with this, as you're doing this, feet on the ground, hips to hips, chest to chest, shoulder over shoulder, up and over, take them over. And when you're on the bottom, don't forget to break fall. Don't try to stop it, okay? There's ways of defending it. Posting your arm back this way. It's a really awesome way to break your arm. And by awesome, I mean horrible, spiral fractures, and ugh. You don't want to do that. Or at the very least, I've seen people dislocate. I'll be honest, I haven't seen anybody break their arm off of this. No, that's not true. I did have somebody break their arm. They were visiting, showed them, they were actually, I won't say what rank they were, but it wasn't a white belt. They tried to stop it this way, and they broke their arm that way. Somebody's really insistent on that. You know, there gets to be a point of, how shall we say, you know, every move has a counter, every counter has a counter, every counter has a counter, blah, blah, blah. So there's a certain point you have to realize, like, oh, this is happening, it's inevitable, and because my safety is my responsibility, I am going to let it happen at this point right here. I'll trust in my defense, okay? So in other words, as Trevor closes this up right here, again, we'll be training partners right here. We'll just slowly to start off with right now. But he's going over, you know, my chances of defending this would be this position right here, okay? And coming back down. But if it gets to the point it's too late, he's taking me over, I think, oh, I'm gonna stop it by here. I'm really just depending on my one arm right now to stop Trevor's momentum, my momentum, we're going backwards this way. I'm pretty sure I'll wind up breaking my arm at that point, or I'll hurt myself, okay? And again, I also have to make this decision, is it worth it? Is it worth potentially getting really, really hurt to stop a particular maneuver happening? Whereas, you know, if Trevor gets me over right now, I'm not gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna say this is a great position beyond the reason. It's actually a terrible position, but I have chances of fighting out of it, okay? As long as I haven't been injured or incapacitated, as long as I'm still in the game, as long as I'm still healthy, as long as I can keep fighting, I always have a chance of winning. But the second that I get myself hurt doing something, I'm done, okay? I don't have the ability for victory anymore. That was one of the important concepts that Elliot Gracie had a book. I don't have that book, but I've read the book. And there is actually a book. The first chapter is that sense of jiu-jitsu. It's like quoted from Portuguese, translated from Portuguese. As long as you haven't been incapacitated, as long as you haven't been injured, as long as you can still fight, there's always a chance for victory, okay? I'll take my chances in some places right there. I'll go ahead and deal with the situation I'm at. But again, if I do something to injure myself, if I don't go over in the right way, I'm like, oh God, and I post out, okay? There goes my chance of victory and my chance of training more, my chance of having a good summer vacation or shelter in place or wherever you're at right now. Got to protect myself. Comes back to this break ball. So what was it again? 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Capiche? Understand that? Cool. Having fun with this? All right. That is a sit-up sweep right there, or a bump sweep. I don't know why it has multiple names. I use it interchangeably and call it the wrong name at least half of the times. But everybody should know that particular move. Okay? Now, having said all that, done that, let's go back to the defensive capabilities on this. Again, if I was to defend this, okay, this motion right now, it would be based on control of my posture, okay, and how I control my weight distribution. So if Trevor's on the bottom right now, okay, I'm going ahead and starting from a good posture position right here. My shoulders and my hips. I'm feeling my core. I'm being nice and strong on this one right now, okay. And the game is Trevor goes ahead and tries to break me down. My first instinct is go ahead and hold on to maintain my posture right here. Okay, absolutely maintain my posture. And if Trevor happens to sit up, okay, before it gets too late, I could go ahead and try to shut it down. Okay, before I even let Trevor come into this, I should point out again, if you're following along with the previous class right there, is of course any technique, any position, anything I'm doing, I'm going core, then legs, then arms. Always on order, always thinking about that right here. So of course, I wouldn't necessarily be sitting here with my hands on my side or here or doing whatever it is right there. I like to be in my safety position. Good posture, shoulder over the hips. I like, again, hand here on the sternum, kind of relaxed and resting here on the center line right here, not reaching forward too far. And I like heel of my palm down on the hip bone, keeping them here. Okay? So again, my primary way of controlling my posture, of course, is with my core the way I'm seated down here. My secondary way of controlling the posture is with my hands. But this also means if Trevor tries to sit up sweep right here, I'm not letting him come up, okay? A lot of times an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, okay? I'm really, really, really not keen on letting him come up in that sense right here, okay? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure right now, okay? So, whereas the posture game right there, it's very basic, like, control the posture of the person on top, you'll do better. If I control my own posture, I'll do better. Trevor controls his own, rather Trevor controls my posture, he'll do better right there. But there's layers upon this right there. You'll figure out, it's like, okay, a legit way of defending my posture wasn't here, because he's gonna take me over, but a legit way of defending my posture will come back to here, the so-called safety position. Whereas I'm going ahead, hand on the sternum, hand on the hip, and hold it here, okay? So how do we deal with that? Well, we deal with that in the same way that we would have dealt with it earlier, okay? I.e., the Trevor will have to have ways of getting this hand up, okay? Goes ahead, he grips, makes that big motion right here, okay? And now he goes ahead and tries to pull in, like I'm leaning back. But as I go ahead and lean back, now there's an opportunity. I can go ahead and do it, and he takes me over, okay? Technique is a tool, and it is worth sharpening and knowing basic techniques, concepts first and techniques. But there gets to be a point that you're going to have a bit of creativity. You have to read the situation very quickly in order to determine when and how to apply that technique. And there'll be little micro adjustments as you go through there. There's no one cut and dry situation that's going to work every single time against everybody, let alone somebody's watching the same video as you are right now, knows the same technique, knows what you're up to, and sees what's coming on. It's like, I know what to do. Again, every move has counter, every counter 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 has counter. Okay? So we have to think about ways, or we have to go ahead and use our, if not creativity, there's actual technique behind this, but we have to think of ways of getting through this right now. So, again, my main goal here is actually to keep myself safe. It's to control Trevor better than he's controlling me right now, okay? There'll be other techniques and other things we'll stack on it right now. Well, let's go ahead. I've made things complex, so let's make it simple. I'm just trying to keep myself safe right now. I know that if Trevor maintains his posture with his shoulders over his hips, okay, and has this good alignment to the ground, that he's always in a better situation than I am right now. I'm never too relaxed, even if I look relaxed. I have a good poker face on this right there, but the truth of the matter is, particularly within the guard, I know things can go wrong too quickly in this place. Trevor has good control of his posture. The next step is he opens up my guard, starts trying to pass it. I'm never all that relaxed. I'm never all that comfortable. I'm prepared, okay? Like, I'm not paranoid, I'm prepared, okay? I always kind of respect this position, okay? But again, my first goal is to go ahead and control and break down that posture. And as I go ahead and control and break down that posture, it'll give me cause to keep myself safer, okay? And as I'm doing this right now, not only is Trevor going ahead, he's using great core and control right now. He has his hands in a safety position, okay? And I could do this to go ahead and break him down, okay? That was just one option to go ahead and break him down. There's other things I can go ahead and do, particularly since this is no gi, there's no grips, he's not tempted to grab anything. These rash guards are relatively slick. So watch this. I can go ahead and kind of trap and pummel in, out, and look to break him down. I'm gonna be creative about this. Again, serious placement of his hands. I can go ahead, one way I can do this is I'll just head, because I know he's not grabbing anything right now, okay? Again, gi, no gi, whatever. In, out, just kind of swaps away. He doesn't have that placement right here. And then quickly, go ahead, coordinate and break them down. There's a timing issue on this. Okay. So again, we're going no gi on this one right here. Watch how this goes. From the outside, underneath, back to the inside. Hand slips away. We're not using the gi. Heck, this even works if you do have the gi. And it's not so much that I have to pull him down here at this point right here, because this wouldn't be the main way to pull him down. If you look at my wrist, it's a bit awkward. Again, anytime I try to control that posture, it goes core, then legs, then arms. But mainly that core and legs. Okay? So I've essentially eliminated this obstacle with this hand
broke him down. Flex on. Okay. Now, again, Trevor, for his part, again, even if I was just go ahead and try to pull him down and be in this awkward position with one hand right now, Trevor's not fighting with just this one arm right now. Trevor's too experienced and good for that. Okay. Trevor's main way of controlling himself right now, no hands involved right now, is his use of his core and how he's shifting his weight distribution. Okay. And how he's controlling this right now. That's how he's controlling. Okay. So it goes back again, the same basic lesson. This obstacle is annoying. I need to get away from this obstacle, at least temporarily, if not right now. So I go ahead, watch, I'll bring this under, over, it comes away. I try to break Trevor down, and Trevor's still not going down. Even though this hand, maybe even pulling right here, but Trevor still has this weight distribution going back. So, and again, I'm applying 100 pounds of force this way. Trevor's applying his force that way, or whatever number we're coming up to right there. So instead of fighting here, getting a little bit too locked up, like I did a great thing here, but it's only the arm. Open up the guard. Okay. Go ahead. Hip, hips, hips, chest, chest, shoulder, shoulder, up and over. And I took him over. Okay.
When ordering things and going through things, sometimes I'll go through and figure out the easy takeoffs. Well, I'll get through the easy task first, and then I'll go to the bigger obstacle right there. Okay. But there's a judgment call. I don't want to get too lost in certain details. Okay. Let's go for sometimes, I don't say always, there's no absolutes in this. Sometimes I need to take out a small detail before I get to a big detail. Although my brain always thinks big detail, big concepts first before I go ahead and move on this. Okay.
I see somebody trying to get in. This is cool.
Go. So we're always going ahead with that. Okay. So it's just a basic concept. It's or a basic set of techniques. Try to break Trevor down, have a series of attacks that I'll do, and which I obviously haven't got to yet, but we will. And if he leans back, really just one attack that I do off this. I really like those bump sweeps when somebody's going ahead and leaning back on you right there. Okay. But,
you know, if we go back to a little bit more vigorous battle, okay, so we'll change the rules. We'll add on to the rules just a little bit from where we started. Okay. So rule number one is person on the top wants to go ahead and maintain posture. The whole game starts off with this control of posture. Without control of the posture, I have no control of my guard or my opponent at this point. Okay, so that's that first battle. Okay, second battle, in order to control and maintain this posture, I want to keep my guard closed. Okay, there are open guards, there's other things I can do, but for right now, I just know that if I keep my legs locked, if I keep my ankles crossing the space, you can't pass directly out of the closed guard, and that's simple enough at this point. Okay, so that's rule number two, is keep the guard closed. Now rule number three, we're giving that person on the bottom knee a little bit of offense. If Trevor gets too cute and he starts leaning back on this right here, his weight's really going back, I do have this opportunity to simply take him over right now. Okay, he's got to learn, and I got to learn that we can be tricky about this, that there's usually more than one answer to solve the problem right there. It's not always cut and dry. Okay, there's other techniques, other things we can cycle through on this. Okay, technique is a tool and it's a starting step and or stepping stone and a starting step. It's the start of it right there. But it's and we will drill this, and you will drill this, and figure this out so you don't have to think about it. Okay, how to do the technique, but the application of the technique, the little nuances, the when to do the techniques. Not even so much a little nuance right there. The when to do things gets pretty important on this, okay? I've often said there's 3 stages to learning techniques in Jiu-Jitsu. It's probably 3 stages of learning, period, but I'll break it down to this. There's number 1, how to do the technique, how to do the sit-up sweep, step 1, step 2, step 3, et cetera, go. Very simple, okay, in that sense, okay? And you'll be able to drill that right now without even having a partner. You need a partner on this, but without an instructor, you can get that part down, but that's only phase 1, okay? And you'll get a certain level of that. Phase 2 is when to do the technique, okay? What is the correct timing to do this technique? And it's very simple. It's based on that posture, okay? Which way the posture goes. Look, if I tried to do this sit-up sweep, as Trevor was leaning forward, for example, or if I didn't try to break his posture down at first, he wasn't leaning back, and I try this, and he drives into me, I'm not getting a sit-up sweep at this point. No way I can do the sit sweep at that point. He goes in. So it's time. Okay. And right now, Trevor, my partner, has been very cooperative with me. We've been cooperative with each other because we want to go ahead and do this. We want to go ahead and focus on technique to a little bit right there. Okay. But there will come a time when you have to do this on somebody that knows what you're doing. Okay. And it's not going to be cooperative. It's not going to let you do the same moves. Okay. And those moves still have to work. Okay. So the timing and the when become the much more important part after you don't have to think about the how to do the technique anymore. I don't know what stage you're at this point, if you're at how or when, okay? But that's an important distinction. Much later on, as you get good at this, as you get multiple techniques in your arsenal, there's more than one answer to this problem, okay? Jiu-Jitsu often has multiple solutions, multiple correct solutions, multiple equally correct solutions on the situation, okay? You know, sometimes that's based on certain correct characteristics, your body type, your opponent's body type, their experience, their strength level, your experience, your strength level, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? Sometimes everything is evened out. It's like, hey, these two moves would be perfectly correct. Why did you pick this move over that move? I can't tell you, okay? That's up for you to decide. That's where your jiu-jitsu game starts individualizing and personalizing, when you can answer that why you picked this over that. That's a little bit of foreshadowing right there. That, quite frankly, comes sometime down the road, okay? Right now, we're just working on basics and fundamentals and techniques and concepts, okay? So, again, trying to break Trevor down. And again, I'm doing everything I can to break Trevor down in this drill, okay? Might even go here and try to break him down here, but he's resisting here from his core. So again, open up the guard. And again, I like this kipping action. Feet on the ground, hips to hips, chest over chest, shoulder over shoulder. And when I say shoulder over shoulder, a little detail on this for folks who are advanced, I try to go over the collarbone this way and not to the bottom of the shoulder this way, okay? And I do that for two reasons, okay? Can you see it from this angle right here? Let's make this rotation so you can see this. When I hit this, again, hips to hips, chest to chest, shoulder over shoulder. Again, I'm over the shoulder here. I'm at the collarbone at this portion when I do this, okay? And then trap the arm for two reasons. Number one, okay, because I'm coming up this way, because I'm going chest to chest, I'll get more of this thump hitting him here, whereas when I go over to the side, I don't get the same impact. I'm turning the corner a little bit too quickly. I'm not taking advantage of the force of me coming up and hitting Trevor at this point. Okay, so that's one detail why I'm always over here as opposed to over here. The other reason why I'm in the habit of always being here is we're not going to get into this, but say depending on if he gives me any resistance or he drives through, I'll actually have counters, including guillotine chokes, which I would consider an advanced basic, that I can do when my shoulders over the shoulder, whereas I can't do it when my shoulders, my aim is here, okay? Don't worry about that right now, or if you're an advanced person, if you've been through this before, if you're following along, then worry about it, I guess. But just know, like, every technique that I do, like even at this fundamental level, okay, there's certain details, there's certain things I emphasize for a reason, because they're setting things up, not within the lesson plan for the day. It sets up things further down the road, so it makes things easier for you to do. So it gives you more options, okay? And again, I always mean to do the move that I started off doing, okay? And I'm 100% committed to that move until I realize that my opponent knows the defense and it doesn't work, okay? And then I'll move on to the next move, okay? But I always kind of set up my way so I have the option A or B, but I have to physically split the switch. I have to know when the timing's right for that, okay? If, for example, timing-wise, if we're playing around and Trevor wants to be a bit more vigorous about this, he can keep changing his posture just by changing direction in his posture right now. And it can really spoil my day. I try to break him down. He doesn't want to go down. I get this out of the way. I try to get him up. He starts driving in. So I try to bring him down, starts switching his directions. You can really spoil my day, okay, if he's giving me resistance by just moving back and forth. And quite frankly, your opponent will give you that type of resistance right there. They will go back and forth. Nothing's going to be cut and dry. And yet, you still have to be able to get these techniques to work. There's not another fancy magical technique that I'm going to do that's going to get anything to work
at this point. Okay, it's my understanding, my control of timing and weight distribution and posture. Okay, I say weight distribution because posture is really a very specialized version of a weight distribution. Okay, the more we understand weight distribution, the more you're going to understand jiu-jitsu. Okay, not just for this particular lesson, but everything that I'll teach forward on this. Okay, so we'll finish this off. If you're with your partner right now, turn the camera on, I'll check on the YouTube. I'll set the timer for 30 seconds. So there's 3 things that we're trying to look for right now. Number 1, control the posture. Okay, the person on top controls their posture. They're rewarded in 3 ways. I won't say it again, but you know it. Safer against attacks, better position, pass guard, better position, attack. I said it, you need to know it. Okay, so we'll control the posture of the person on top. The person on the bottom is going to go ahead and keep the guard closed, and the person on the top leans back too much. Just let them know that there's always multiple options. There's always different ways of going about things. There's always ways to control. And the person on top gets the control too. So I'll go back to the timer. I'll have 30 seconds on the clock. Set. Go.
Get him, man. Get him, Paul.
Go, 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 go.
It'd be sweet if we could see them going.
Oh, I wish I saw this going. Still go. You know, and if you accomplish your goal, great. Time. Don't consider anything as a failure right here. Again, if you're working with somebody that has more experience than you, you know, if you got knocked over and got swept in 2 seconds, if the next time it takes them 4 seconds to sweep you, that's 100% improvement. Got on top and bottom yet? All right, set, go. You should be paying attention to that. You should be paying attention to each other. Keep going, keep going. 10 more seconds. Not lying. A lot of times I lie if I hold the clock, but today I'm not. 2, 1. When I have the timer on in class, that obviously can't lie. Well, I think you can go ahead, and we've given you enough material to go ahead and drill and work with each other this weekend. So we're going to leave that at that. Of course, like the guard, if you've watched, like even somebody explained this to you, if you watch things, can get a lot more complex. But this is just kind of the very base entry level of things right there. I'm trying to throw out, there's a lot of knowledge to start off with right now, but it's mainly the concepts. It's mainly concepts. If you understand this foundational level stuff, then when you're ready to come into the gym and train or work with somebody else or take the next step, this foundational level stuff is important. Okay. What else did I want to say? Thanks for joining us. For those of you on the Heroes, the Zoom chat's going to be starting at 5 as opposed to 6, the Heroes Happy Hour. We're going to broadcast actually on this channel the first hour of the Heroes Happy Hour because Dr. Mike, if you've been here, you know and love him, is also, he's Dr. Mike because he's an ER over at Kaiser Emergency, has some firsthand knowledge about the whole COVID-19 coronavirus from his perspective. So we'll be talking to him about that, asking him some questions. And then after that, you know, crack open your favorite beverage and just enjoy the time chit-chatting with the Heroes. So I hope to see all of you there. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you next week, Thursday. I got a full schedule for everybody throughout all these classes. I'm rambling right now, but I'm going to cut the YouTube. Thanks so much.